In the middle of the Cold War, the world was looking up. While NASA was racing to the moon, the Soviet Union had another target. A target far stranger and infinitely more dangerous. They were quietly chasing a ghost in the cosmos, an anomaly that physics itself struggled to explain. No one knew the full extent of this secret program. Not the American spies, not even the Soviet public. It was a race toward the absolute edge of reality. A mission that almost reached a black hole. And it started with a single, inexplicable signal. The 1960s were defined by the space race. The moon was the ultimate prize, a symbol of ideological supremacy. America poured billions into the Apollo program. But behind the Iron Curtain, different questions were being asked. Soviet astrophysicists like Yakov Zeldovich were looking deeper. They weren't just interested in walking on dead rocks. They wanted to understand the most violent forces in the universe. Theoretical work on relativistic objects was advancing rapidly in Moscow. While NASA built rockets, the Soviets built mathematical models. Models of collapsed stars, where gravity becomes infinite. At the time, the concept of a black hole was still controversial. Many Western scientists thought they were just mathematical artifacts. But the Soviet team was convinced they were real, and they believed they could actually find one. They needed a way to see the invisible. A black hole emits no light, but it consumes everything around it. As matter falls in, it heats up to millions of degrees. This superheated disk should blast out X-rays, but X-rays can't penetrate the Earth's atmosphere. To see them, you have to go to space. This realization birthed a new, highly classified initiative, a program dedicated entirely to orbital X-ray astronomy. It was a monumental engineering challenge, building delicate sensors capable of surviving the vacuum. The Soviet leadership saw the strategic value. If they couldn't beat America to the moon, they would beat them to the unknown. Funding was secured under the guise of military research. The greatest minds in the USSR were put to work. The stage was set for an unprecedented cosmic hunt. The target, the darkest corners of the galaxy. The first step was building the instruments. This led to the creation of the Astron Space Telescope, a massive, complex satellite designed to scan the high-energy universe. Engineers worked around the clock in secret laboratories. Every component had to be tested against the harshness of space. The launch of Astron marked a turning point. For the first time, the Soviets had an eye in the X-ray sky, and they immediately pointed it at a region known as Cygnus. There was a mysterious source there, dubbed Cygnus X-1. It was flickering wildly, emitting massive bursts of radiation. The data pouring into Moscow was unprecedented. Scientists analyzed the telemetry day and night. The mathematical models predicted exactly this kind of signature, a massive, invisible object stripping a nearby star of its gas. It was the smoking gun they had been looking for. The first observational evidence of a black hole. The excitement in the Soviet scientific community was electric. They were mapping the abyss, but they weren't alone in this pursuit. Halfway across the world, American scientists were noticing the same anomaly. The Uhuru satellite, launched by NASA, was also tracking Cygnus X-1. Two superpowers, locked in a terrestrial Cold War, now racing to understand the exact same cosmic anomaly. Neither side fully knew what the other was doing. The Soviets pushed their technology further, developing the Granite Observatory. Granite was a technological marvel, armed with sophisticated French and Soviet detectors. It was designed to peer even deeper into the accretion disk, to capture the last screams of matter before it crossed the event horizon. The data from Granite was astonishingly detailed. It revealed the extreme physics at play near the black hole: time dilation, intense magnetic fields, warped space-time. The Soviet team was piecing together a puzzle of unimaginable scale. They were writing the first true textbook on black hole astrophysics. But the secrecy of the state meant their discoveries were delayed. Papers were heavily vetted and details obscured. While Stephen Hawking and Kip Thorne made bets in the West, the Soviets already had the hard data in their hands. They were standing on the precipice of the greatest astronomical discovery of the century, a mission that didn't just observe a black hole, but theoretically mapped its very edge. The Granite mission continued to operate, gathering terabytes of information. It tracked other candidates, neutron stars and quasars. The Soviet Union had quietly become the master of the high-energy universe, while the Apollo flags faded on the moon. The Soviet X-ray observatories were rewriting physics, but the political landscape on Earth was beginning to shift. The foundations of the Soviet Empire were cracking, and the black hole program was about to feel the impact. The universe is indifferent to human politics, but human science is entirely dependent on it. The ambitious plans for even larger observatories were stalling. Budgets were slashed as the economy faltered. The golden age of Soviet astrophysics was reaching its twilight. Yet, the scientists continued their work in dimly lit rooms, fueled by tea and an insatiable desire to understand. They knew what they had found. They had touched the void, and they had the tapes to prove it. Millions of data points, locked away in magnetic archives, waiting to be fully understood. The data flowed silently into the endless cosmic void. The data flowed silently into the endless cosmic void. The data flowed silently into the endless cosmic void. Data points forming a picture of ultimate destruction. The data flowed silently into the endless cosmic void. The data flowed silently into the endless cosmic void. Down on Earth, the political lines were being redrawn, but above the atmosphere, the physics remained absolute. The universe cared nothing for borders or ideologies, only for mass, energy, and the inevitable pull of the void. Decades of human effort culminating in a single spectral graph. An X-ray pulse crossing light years to hit a silicon detector. The ghost of a dead star still screaming into the dark. We map the shadows, hoping to understand the light. The archives hold more than just numbers. They hold the forgotten dreams of a fallen empire. A silent monument orbiting silently in the cold. Every second of data brings us closer to the truth. The edge of reality is not a place, but a condition, where time stops and space curves into infinity. We are just observers in a universe too vast to comprehend, but we keep looking, driven by an insatiable need to know. The dark is full of answers, if we only know how to listen. By the late 1980s, the Soviet space program was struggling. The Granite Observatory was in orbit, but ground support was failing. Tracking stations suffered power outages. The scientists often went months without pay. Yet, the data kept trickling down from the heavens. A relentless stream of X-ray pulses from Cygnus X-1. The mission had achieved its primary goal, but the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991 changed everything. Overnight, the program was orphaned. The once glorious facilities began to decay. Telescopes rusted, and archives were neglected. Many brilliant minds were forced to leave for the West, taking their knowledge, but leaving the raw data behind. The Granite mission eventually ended, a silent casualty of history. But the legacy of the Soviet black hole hunters remained. They had fundamentally altered our understanding of the cosmos. Their theoretical models still form the basis of modern astrophysics. However, a tantalizing mystery endures. In the chaotic final days of the USSR, vast amounts of telemetry were archived. Stored on thousands of magnetic tapes in decaying warehouses, a treasure trove of high-energy cosmic data. Much of it has never been fully processed with modern computers. There are whispers among astronomers, rumors that hidden within those aging tapes are uncatalogued anomalies. Signatures of even stranger objects than Cygnus X-1, perhaps evidence of primordial black holes, or strange matter that defies current physics. The mission may have ended, but its findings are still waiting. A time capsule from the Cold War, holding secrets of the universe. We are only now developing AI capable of sifting through it all. The race to understand black holes is far from over. It has just entered a new phase, a phase where the past and the future collide. Where Cold War data meets modern machine learning. The ghost they chased is still out there, and it's still pulling us in. The immense gravity of the unknown, a force stronger than any political ideology. The Soviet mission was a testament to human curiosity, a stubborn refusal to be confined by the limitations of Earth. Today, we take images of black holes for granted. We've seen the glowing ring of M87, but none of that would be possible without the pioneers, without the quiet, secret work done behind the Iron Curtain. While the world watched two countries race to the moon, one of them was quietly racing toward the edge of the universe. They reached into the dark, and the dark answered back. the legacy of the Astron and Granite missions is immortal. Written in the high-energy radiation of collapsed stars, the Soviet Union may be gone, but the black holes they discovered will outlast us all. They will continue to spin in the silence of deep space, monuments to gravity and to the scientists who found them. We are only just beginning to truly understand. The universe is far stranger than we ever imagined, and the race to the dark has only just begun.